This is Carissa Miller with Lula Pottery for your ears. Throwing clay efficiently with the human body is much a matter of contriving that body to perform machine-like maneuvers. See my last podcast installment entitled Human Machine. We implement particular tools to varying degrees to measure and form pots as exactly as possible or as exactly as we want them. But where there is human involvement, we will always find evidence of it. This is both good and tricky. As individual artists, we decide what kind and how many tools we use as aids and choose when and where we allow the inconsistency of our human touch to exist. I struggle here, but maybe the struggle is also the point. I touch a piece of clay so many different ways and so many times before it exists as a finished pot. Each time I squish, poke, spin, push, pull, lift, stretch, trim, smooth, rub, buff, sand, polish, and clean, I am working to extract a refined object from a formless lump. And yet, my hands will always fall short of perfection. They leave smudges and nicks and knock bowls slightly off round. They bump an edge, accidentally wipe glaze off, and leave a bare spot that goes unnoticed before the fire. I try to keep from doing these things. Every effort is made with care, but I am not a machine. My eyes scan and scrutinize my work relentlessly, but they are complicit in every accidental trace of human involvement. Each time I discover a gouge, a scratch, a bit of unintended texture, my eyes will swear to me that those marks weren't there before. In the wrong frame of mind, I can obsess. I obsess easily, in fact, very early on especially, and sometimes still. The futility of striving to erase every evidence of my humanness in my pottery was maddening, something to be beat. If I couldn't make pots that denied the very essence of something handmade, in my mind they had less worth. Capitalist voices in my head saying, this factory mug at the big box store is perfect, and for identical, flawless pots, they're only asking $10. Yours don't match exactly. They're all a little bit different. This one has a glaze strip, and this handle is a little crooked. I know everything wrong with this logic. Exploited labor, mass production, throwaway consumerism, lack of community, loss of craft. It wasn't even my voice. I shop handmade and secondhand. I don't want brand new factory made shit. I wear my clothes out to frays and tatters, and I love the imagined story behind used things. Appreciate very well made pieces that are enhanced by use and grow beloved over long stretches of time. The voice was what I imagined my potential customers would be thinking when presented with my work, and I owe them an apology. They are in no way those people. I didn't believe they would see what I saw, but they do, and they not only didn't need convincing, they have ended up convincing me. Flaws are where it's at. I love the flaws. Most of the pots I keep for myself are the ones that have some discrepancy. Not because I don't think I deserve to keep my best pots, but because I think those are my best pots. Freaks rule, and my whole style sort of is to make new pots that kind of already look beat to hell. And for them to be truly good, that smudged glaze or whatever has to be accidental, because if you try to make it on purpose, I can always tell it was contrived. So which is it? Strive or let go? Scrutinize or celebrate? Human touch. At first, it feels like a disconnect, that I should always be striving to refine my work, but I should truly celebrate the handmadeness of it. This is one of those both and situations, and I do not come easily to non-black and white thinking, but this line of work really helps me along. It doesn't have to be either or. Strive to make your work the best it can be. Set limits, the amount of derivation from uniformity that is particularly acceptable to you. Implement high standards of quality control, but also, hey, I made this with my hands. It's beautiful. And it's beautiful especially because it isn't perfect. Every artist gets too close to their work during the course of its becoming. A creation goes from genius to hideous on a loop for as long as it is within our line of sight. I hate kiln opening day. I've spent all that time with each pot to the point I surrender them to the fire, and no matter how gorgeous the pot, I hate everything. Upon first meeting it in its final form, I have to walk away and sneak back up on them later. It takes days. There is a whole world in between training our bodies as masterful machines at the wheel and allowing for the visibility of human touch in our work. Being proficient on the wheel and celebrating the evidence of your human touch doesn't make the work good. The meat, the substance, the part of art that is definable by the objective properties of design, consideration of form, balance, decoration, style, that's quantifiable. I do feel like I harp on a good bit about this, but that's not going to stop me. Just being able to make a pot exist doesn't make it a good pot. Hooray, the walls are standing and there aren't any cracks, and yes, your hands as an extension of your being are a goddamn miracle, but it's important not to be blinded to what's sitting in front of us. We have to be able to discern quality and practice self-critical evaluation of our work. So I guess I'm going to talk about the components of objective design next. I'm just making up topics. Components of objective design. I mean, it's probably taught in school and I learned about it and pieced it together somehow, but I'm not an expert. Wait, am I an expert? Let's talk about that. Who decides? Is it time spent? Accreditation? Do I need a certificate or a title? Am I just out here claiming I know some things and some people believe me? Do I make any sense at all? Ever? I'm good. For reference, I'm recording this the week of Thanksgiving, 2 weeks out from my next show and online sale, so I'm pretty wrecked as far as putting in long hours for the holiday season. I question my ability to convey coherent thought on a regular day, but when I'm tired, I question reality itself. I think that's it for me. I'll try not to make it so long in between episodes next time. I was shooting for once a month. I think I went twice that long this time. Again, this is that time of year. Thank you for being here. Try not to make ugly pots. Let's do this again. Life is taxing. Pottery is extra. Be mindful